Whoa! Holy dude, that's some field of view right there. Virtual reality headsets. There's a lot of choices out there now that it's 2022, along with many others on the horizon. Everything from introductory all-in-one VR headsets like the Oculus Quest, all the way up to the high-end VR headsets that require a beastie gaming PC to run them. Ugh, like this Pimax 8KX we have here today. What is up, folks? Name's ZstormGames, and today I have a pretty special video for you. Now, before we dive fully into this, I want to let you know that these are my genuine first impressions of the Pimax 8KX. Nobody's paying me to say anything, and I'm not required to directly say anything. So I'm going to be as honest with you, the consumer, so you know what you're going into when you're purchasing something expensive like this Pimax 8KX. Now, to get onto the part that everybody's been waiting for, let's unbox this fire trucking headset. So when opening this aesthetically beautiful box, you'll be presented with a cover panel that says "Your vision is your world." Catchy little Pimax phrase. With the cover gone, we are presented with the Pimax headset and a few various other little accessories. Now, pulling the headset out of the box here, we can see that everything has been thoughtfully packaged to fit it together, giving us that very premium unboxing experience for a premium headset. This Pimax headset came with the 4.5 meter connection cable to your PC, and it includes one DisplayPort cable, one USB 3.0, and one USB 2.0. Now, last but not least, there are some headphones in the box that came on the original head strap before the deluxe audio strap, the KD Mass, was installed on this Pimax. I give this unboxing experience a good old thumbs up. So firstly, let's talk a little bit about what this headset is. What in the world makes a Pimax a Pimax? Well, Pimax has been known over the years to make super wide field of view headsets with over-the-top high-resolution displays. But what specifically sets the 8KX apart from all the other VR headsets on the market? Well, let's dig into some of that data now. The first obvious bit is in the name of the product, the 8KX. The Pimax 8KX houses two beastie LCD panels with a native resolution of 3840 by 2160 per eye, which is currently the top of the line for any consumer VR headset on the market. So I don't think we'll be having any problems with screen door effect on here. Everything I was reading online stated that to run it at 90 Hz, you needed to have at least a NVIDIA RTX 3070 graphics card. Otherwise, you would run at 75 Hz. Okay, hey, don't leave yet, just hear me out. Now, I personally have an RTX 2080 Ti, and when I booted up Pitool for the first time, I actually had the 90 Hz option in my settings. And I gave it a little click and boom, what do you know? It goes ahead and it works on the RTX 2080 Ti as well. So the Pimax has a dual engine mode, which allows you to switch between that native 4K resolution or the upscale mode that uses a lower resolution of 2560 by 1440 per eye, but is capable of running up to 110 Hz. Now, though this is a lower resolution, I still had zero screen door effect while playing. And with some slight adjustments to the super sampling scale, I had it looking insanely clear while still maintaining that 110 Hz refresh rate. And that's where I find myself most of the time when I'm using the Pimax. The Pimax does have improved upon Fresnel 2 lenses according to their tech specs, and it does have adjustable IPD ranging from 60mm to 72mm. I love to play intense shooters like Population 1, Pavlov, and Contractors, and those games require some high levels of frame rates. In games like Half-Life Alyx or Lone Echo, where I really want to take in the visuals, the 75 to 90 Hz didn't bother me at all. But all of this is really subject to what kind of PC you have and where you want to adjust your field of view. At its largest setting, the Pimax has a whopping 200 degrees field of view diagonally and 170 degrees horizontally. In comparison to something like the Valve Index, which only has 130 degrees field of view, that's absolutely insane. Though I found out pretty fast that it's going to require a beefy graphics card to be able to maintain a steady frame rate well in the native 8K resolution mode. Though I have an RTX 2080 Ti, which is directly comparable to something like the RTX 3080, I was struggling on the max field of view in some graphically demanding games. But luckily, Pimax's Pitool software makes it pretty easy for everybody to adjust and save these settings tuned for each and every game. I personally like fine-tuning things and getting the most out of my computer, so I don't find this as a problem. But some people may just want to slap on the headset and go, and that's fine, you can do that, but spending some time to figure out what's best with your setup can vastly improve your experience with this headset. So one thing you may have heard a lot of people complain about on Pimax headsets is lens distortion. Now what that means is in the corner of the lenses, the picture would be kind of construed or bent or turned or blurry, or it'd be all messed up on the edges of the lenses. And while I found that to be true in some of Pimax's headsets from many years ago, I was pleasantly surprised that the 8KX wasn't nearly as crazy as everybody made it out to be. There's still some lens distortion if you move your eyes in the 8KX and focus on the edges of the lenses, but honestly it was just slightly more blurry than it really was distorted. If you're looking forward in real life, you're not looking in your peripheral vision at the same time, so nothing in your peripheral vision is in focus. But you can still see your environment and objects moving and light moving, and that helps you react to the situation that you're in. And that is exactly what it's like in the 8KX. Now I did notice the distortion slightly when I first put on the headset, but after about 15 minutes of playing some games, I didn't notice it anymore. I find in games when needing to approach a corner, being able to see something out of the corner of my eye vastly increases my immersion. Or sitting in a group of people in social VR and you're being able to see everybody while you're sitting there and chatting and hanging out, and it's awesome. So I was genuinely shocked by the build quality of this headset. The front hammerhead of this headset's coated in like this rugged rubber material, which helps add to that quality feeling. According to the website, it's a rugged anti-scratch coating, which sounded like some marketing mumbo jumbo to me. But dang, was I pleasantly surprised when I actually tried to scratch the headset and it doesn't scratch. I'm running my key across it right now, and you can't. It's a little dirty, but there's no actual scratches on it. All the plastic as a whole in my hands and on my head just feels premium. It doesn't feel like I'm settling for something like when I was wearing the HP Reverb G2 or on the Quest 2. I've taken it on and off now a lot over the past couple of weeks, and I can say that the adjustment still feels fresh, tight, and it doesn't feel like it's getting sloppy or it's gonna go ahead and pull off or the head strap's gonna fall off or anything like that. It's held up really good to some abuse over the past couple of weeks. And the best part is I don't have to be worried about when I'm setting my headset down if it's gonna break where I set it. So I can just set it down and walk away and not have to worry about particularly just putting it in a corner or making sure that nothing's gonna hit it, because even if something does bump it, this headset's gonna take it. It's a monster. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the connection cable for the headset. The cable that comes with the headset by default is a 4.5 meter cable, and while that's great for seated play and simulation use, I felt a little restricted in my play space. Now, Pimax does sell a 6 meter fiber optic cable, but that's gonna cost you an additional $90, and when you're already spending so much on a headset, you're not going to want to buy an additional cable. This may be something that's not going to bother you at all, and I know after getting used to the length of the cable that it wasn't really an issue for me anymore, but it was something that just kind of felt weird at first. An extra 1.5 meters of cable would be nice though. Alright, so this is the one you're all wondering on. The comfort of the headset. You look at this headset, it's big. I know, it's big. But actually it just looks really big. Despite it being big, Pimax did a really good job at balancing the headset weight out. Mainly with this KD Mass adjustable head strap that they have on the back of the headsets now. I've been playing lately for about 4-hour time periods with this headset on, and I don't feel any pain after that 4 hours of playing with this. Now, using this head strap is just like most other VR head straps. You have an adjustable top piece here with a branded Pimax strap. Oh, fancy. And then you have the dial to be able to adjust the headset to fit either your large or small head. For me, it has to go all the way open because I got a big old fat head. The instructions say to take the rear foam piece farther down the back of your head, which is actually what kind of grips it and balances the weight of the headset out better, and it feels really good when it's placed properly. One of the nice thing about this is this rear foam piece that's on this headset, unlike the G2 or the Quest or anything else that's stock, it comes off. You can just take it off if it ever gets worn out and just slap a new one on there. All in all, as far as comfort wise goes, after playing many hours with the headset, I found the comfort on the Pimax to be directly comparable to that of the stock Index. So speaking of comfort, let's talk about the facial interface on the Pimax. The Pimax comes with an included super comfy foam facial piece. This piece is removable and there's an extra included in the box, though they both seem to be the same size. One nice thing about the included foam is there's little side indents which appear to be for wearing glasses in your VR headset. To the average user who spends between 1 to 3 hours in VR and doesn't get super physical and sweaty, the facial interface will last for years to come, no need to worry. But let's be real, you aren't aren't buying an $1,100 VR headset because you're an average user. As someone who is in VR 5+ hours most of the time, this may become an issue over time as the sweat really likes to suck into that foam and that front piece is just going to become nasty. But changing out the front facial interface is something I usually do right away when I get a VR headset, and it appears Pimax does have their own PU leather facial interface that they sell on their website. For those who might not find them right away and don't know, the Pimax lineup actually sells a bunch of different accessories like eye trackers and hand trackers and stuff like that. And those can be plugged in through two different hidden ports. You have a Type-C port here on the bottom, and then you have another Type-C port that is actually hidden. It's hard to get to, but it's up front here in the facial interface right up on top. All these specs are sounding great and all, but for it to be truly good, it needs a great tracking system. And I'm happy to say, heck yeah, it does. This is a Steam VR tracked headset, so you will need to have some Lighthouse base stations or order some additional to the Pimax at checkout. And because it's a Steam VR tracked headset, you can use Steam VR controllers such as the Vive Wands or the Valve Knuckles, and potentially the ET controllers here in the near future. As far as Pimax goes, they do have the recently released controllers, the Pimax Swords, which I have yet to try, but I hope to in the near future. With the Pimax using the Lighthouse base stations to track your position, I had to go ahead and test out the full body trackers and make sure that everything worked out smoothly. And I would have to say after a couple of hours in VR chat that my Vive 3.0 pucks stayed tracking to my body accurately just like my Valve Index. It was super cool to be able to actually have a social VR experience in the Pimax, and all of it went smoothly, so there's really no need to worry on this side of things. Now while you're playing virtual reality, you're going to need to be able to hear what's going on around you. So let's talk a little bit about what the Pimax offers in the area of audio. The 8KX gives you two 3.5mm audio jacks on each side of the headset to give you a choice to route your own audio solutions. But if you get the supplied KD Mass audio strap, the left port is taken up by that. Visually looking at these headphones, I straight away thought we were being given something similar to the Valve Index or the HP Reverb G2 audio solutions. I fired up the headset to try and hear what things sounded like, and I was shocked, and not necessarily in the good way shocked. Is there a good way to be shocked? I actually thought that the headphones weren't plugged in all the way. It seemed really quiet, like the audio wasn't being directed into my ears. Then I found out that the little foam cups that were included with the headphones must be put on and aren't really an option. It has been a while since I really used on-ear headphones while in VR, as I've been spoiled with the magical dark sorcery that Valve put into their Index headphones. But as soon as I put those foam cups on, boom, that audio literally transformed. It had really good mids and a lot of bass for VR headphones. It felt like a slightly upgraded version of the HTC Vive Deluxe audio strap. These headphones, as far as adjustments go, can be slid up and down and swiveled back and forth to adjust them to suit your needs. Now, those foam cups that are attached to the headphones didn't really push onto my ears, they more or less just rested over the outside of my ears. After about 3 hours of playing, I could feel my ears get a little warm, but that is to be expected with almost any on-ear headphone solution. It definitely wasn't an issue for me, but it could be an issue for some people. Now, with the foam cups removed, I went ahead and pushed in on the off-ear headphone version of it, and the audio actually sounded really good. So the potential for them to be an off-ear audio solution is definitely there, but maybe somebody just has to make some sort of modification to be able to bring them closer to your ears and direct them so the audio goes into your ears. I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that for me personally, I love off-ear headphones, and that can change definitely based on the person using the headset. Now, this next area I want to talk about here is extremely important to me and many of those who like to socialize in virtual reality. A vast majority of VR headsets I've tried have a subpar built-in microphone. And don't even get me started with the built-in HTC microphone that somehow gets worse with every new model that comes out. Now, I'm going to play a little comparison of the Pimax 8KX microphone, the Valve Index microphone, and the Oculus Quest 2 built-in microphone. This is a microphone test on the Oculus Quest 2. This is a test recording with the Pimax 8KX microphone. This is a test recording with the Valve Index microphone. I personally think that this microphone sounds fantastic and is very viable for live streaming, recording, and just socializing in VR. Now, with a premium headset like this, it's only going to naturally draw a premium price. The Pimax 8KX headset alone comes in at a measly $1,125 US, or the bundle including the Valve Knuckles and Steam 2.0 base stations for $1,625 US. While this is a steep price, this headset is aimed at at the top of the market for those looking for the best of the best in a VR headset. If you're looking for something that's $300 like the Quest 2, this is definitely not the area to be looking right now. And the Valve Index is still $1,000 for the whole bundle from Valve itself, but it's quite old, and with the talks of the Valve Deckard being right around the corner, it might not be wise to jump into something that could potentially be outdated really soon. Now let's talk about the software you're going to need to run the Pimax. It's super simple to set up, and once you have it running, you can just launch it and leave it on in the background and completely forget about it. Except for one little issue that I personally had that I'll explain more in depth in the downside section of this video. So you will need to download and install Pimax's special tool from their website, the Pitool, and this will be used to link your Steam VR controllers and your full body trackers to your Pimax headset, as well as set up all the calibration and make sure everything's working fluidly together. From here you can fine tune the settings for each and every one of your games, and it'll save a profile so you don't have to worry about it in the future. You just launch the game and whatever saved profile you have will launch with it. So my final personal thoughts on the Pimax 8KX. My apologies in advance, I have a decent bit to say here. So I've been using this headset to its maximum, pushing it as hard as I can for about a month now. When I wasn't streaming or pushing my PC to its absolute breaking point, this headset was a dream to use. Super wide field of view, no screen door effect, top tier Steam VR tracking, no jittering, a great microphone, and it was just comfortable. Those are all things I need in a VR headset to be able to use a VR headset daily. Now this is a question a lot of people have been asking in my Discord and on my live streams, but will the Pimax 8KX fully replace my Valve Index? See, this is a little hard to explain, but just hear me out. I'm gonna compare these VR headset to those of us who are in the car enthusiast world. Now, in the car enthusiast world, people have what are called your daily driver cars. The nice, reliable car that you can get in, drive to where you need to go, and you'll for sure make it there. It may not be the best experience, it may not be fast or get all the super cool attention, but you're not gonna have to worry about popping the hood to fix it yourself. Now, the Pimax 8KX will be my sports car VR headset. On days that I want to enjoy wide FOV, fully immersive VR, I'll pop on the Pimax and enjoy it to its maximum, but with the potential for a few issues to pop up here and there. And I'll explain that a little bit in the upcoming downside section. I love the Pimax 8KX, and my thoughts here are by no means not telling you to get one. I mean, seriously, if you can deal with a few slight issues, this headset absolutely blows everything else out of the water. But just know what you're getting yourself into when you're buying the highest end VR headset for the consumer market. When it comes to downsides with this VR headset, I'll be straight with you. There are a few. One is pretty obvious, but that's the cost of the headset. I'm sure in the near future we'll see costs of headsets like this come down, so more people will be able to experience this level of PC VR. Now this next problem is something that probably has to do more with my motherboard or my computer itself rather than the average user. Now for those of you who know PC specs out there, I have an Asus ROG Strix Z370E Gaming Edition. It is an Intel motherboard, and this is something that I've just kind of experienced with this one in particular, and I'm not sure if others with the same motherboard as me are also having this issue. So this motherboard has the option of being able to be plugged in with Ethernet for internet, or it has built-in Wi-Fi. Now, for whatever reason, every time I launched Pitool, about every 10 seconds or so, the Wi-Fi would cut out for a few seconds, causing the multiplayer experiences to glitch around here and there. Like if I was moving in population 1, everybody else would stop for a few seconds, freeze, and then they would like teleport really quickly. Now I found a pretty easy workaround with this, and that's actually to run the program called PyService that's located in the program files for Pimax, instead of actually running the Pitool itself. It'll allow Steam to detect your controllers and the Pimax headset without running into the issue of cutting out the Wi-Fi. Now, I did test this issue with an Ethernet cable, and when I was actually wired into my router, I did not have this issue. So this is only a wireless card issue. So I just went ahead and made a shortcut for the PyService to my desktop, and right before I go to run Steam VR, I just double click on that PyService and boom, it's ready to go. Now the one other and last issue that I had with the Pimax actually came after a couple of weeks of using the headset. I had an issue where when I went to go launch my Pimax, the headset was actually stuck to the floor, like it was stuck in a 3 degrees of freedom type space. I messed around with it a bunch, and Pimax support was really responsive and been working with me on trying to fix it as fast as we could to make sure that the Pimax was in optimal condition. And eventually we got it resolved, as it was a pretty simple issue, but I just wanted to put this out there because these are the types of things that you may need to deal with when owning the Bugatti of VR headsets. So who in the world is the Pimax for? The Pimax is for those who truly want the best of the best in the VR experience and are willing to pay for it. And if you really want to push the headset to its maximum potential, you're going to need the beefy PC to back it. If you're super new to VR and you're not very tech savvy with PCs, this headset probably isn't something you want to look at the moment. But all this could change with Pimax's upcoming 12K QLED standalone VR headset that's coming somewhere around December of this year. So let's stay tuned and see how that plays out. Thanks for watching my first impressions and review of the Pimax 8KX. This was my first VR headset review, and I hope it lived up to the standards of others here on YouTube. I poured a lot of my time and heart into this review because I really wanted to get my point across about what this headset truly is, and I hope it helps you make an informed decision here in the future. If you're new here and you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe and go ahead and follow over on Twitch as I live stream there weekly. Oh yeah, and maybe like the video and leave a comment, as it helps get this video into the algorithm a little bit faster. And to keep most up to date with everything that's happening with me and my content, feel free to join my Discord, the Stormy Oasis. The links for all of this are in the description down below. Thanks again, and as always, remember, never give up. Peace out.
When my friends go, it was simple. When the ends low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike, I go hard day and night, yeah.